what do you think about IUL? And I said, I think they're a ripoff. I wouldn't put a clock on. Does everybody know what IUL is?
No.
It's Index Universal Life. And so I said, no, I don't. I would put it. I don't. He said, what about index annuities? I said, no. I just got recruited by World Marketing Alliance, WMA.
Yay.
So I said, no, you don't want to get in that. You want to sell that. It's bad for the client. I said, it makes the agent plenty commission money. You make lots of money selling. It's bad for the client. Okay, let's talk about IULs. Index Universal Life. What it is, it's very similar to index annuities. So those two things. Okay. What it is they sell it as if the client is going to get a return similar to the S&P 500. The agent is not required to have a license. Securities and the security license. Sure. So the agent kind of makes it sound like that the client is investing in something. For the S&P 500. Yeah. It's loosely done, but also most of them have what's called caps. So, like last year when the stock market went up 20 whatever percent, it'll have a cap at 8%. And so if you make anything above 8, that goes to the investment company. It doesn't go to the client. Yeah. That also does have a floor where you can't make less than 3 or 5 or whatever. But you miss out on all the upside of the stock market. If it's in a life insurance policy, the other problem is that money that's in that policy, if it does grow at 8%, let's say, doesn't even belong to the insurance. It's part of its cash value. So if you were to pass away, well, depending on the restriction of the policy, it's one of two ways. If it's an A policy, and the client, let's say they have a $100,000 policy, and they have $80,000 investments in their IUL. Then she dies, the family only gets $100,000. They don't get the 80 that was an investment. But they can do an option B choice where they get both, but the premium is much higher. The World Market Alliance CEO was a guy named Eric Hoffman. He was the biggest SNSD in Primerica for many, many years.
Mark said he was the best at selling Greek.
Yep. So he was huge. He was bigger than Kip, bigger than Ronnie Barnes, bigger. So he had in his hand that was hardly was left. They're gonna make him the CEO. That's what jockeying for. Well, Art didn't do that. So he got mad. And started his own thing. But then he didn't get mad and started something that sold buy-term invested difference.
That's right.
He got mad and started selling variable universal life policies. That's most policies I came across over several years with WMA was from Delta pilots investing money in these policies as if they were investments, not that they were life insurance. Yeah, so they were everywhere. And the company they were selling insurance under was called Western Reserve Life. So anytime I'd sit down and they'd pull up a Western Reserve Life policy, I knew exactly where to get the policy. And I saw a lot of policies in Peachtree City, like I said. Money never enters the market. So the company actually, you invest, they put the money in the market, they hold the money, and they pay you from it.
That's one of the things, a lot of 401ks plans, you're investing in a fund that's run by the company, so you never really actually see the true growth of that fund or track it. You only get what they put out on their annual prospectus that, this fund made 8%. But you have no idea because they do the same crap, they hold it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, well, okay.
I mean, it feels like
It's not a scam.
Right.
So unfortunately, it's an illegal scheme. And try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other point. See, this is the issue I have with index annuities, is the companies that pay dividends in this index, you don't get any of that.
Well, the lion's share goes to the house.
Right.
It never goes to you.
But that was the argument I got from all these annuity companies that we represent that wanted me to sell their index annuities.
Yeah.
Oh, but The only exception is we don't pay out the dividends. Well, that's a pretty good percentage of your return. So why would I have a client give up their dividends and pay all these expenses that are guaranteed?
I love it.
It says fee, number 4 is fees, and more fees. So it's loaded with fees, rider costs. So where did you get this out of? Is it in the insurance?
It's on, well, I found it on the on-demand tab.
This has the same issue that all universal life insurance have. Okay, in that it's a universal life policy is an annual renewal term policy, which means the cost of the insurance goes up every year. Okay, so that means less and less than you're paying in goes to the investment policy.
Yeah, you're paying the same premium.
Yeah, pay the same premium, but they're pulling about $100 a month.
Yeah.
But
They're pulling
as
out.
you get older, the risk of dying increases, so now you might start with $20 a month as insurance, 30, 40, 50, 60. And so that means less and less money is going to the investment.
More bigger scooper.
Yeah,
Bigger
it's a bigger scooper, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, so it has rising costs, it has lots of fees. The client, like I said, it's all about the commission, because it pays a great commission. But I sat down with a lady in Peachtree City one time. So I sat down with her, looked at her policy, I said, your policy is gonna last about 2 months. It gotten to that point where she'd been paying the premiums. And they had been, her premiums weren't, because the way they sell it is, when they sell the policy, they'll say, the agent will say, well, let's say it's a $100,000 policy, they say, do you wanna pay $50, $75, or $100 a month in the policy? Or what can you afford to pay? Okay. And she said, and he was thinking 100, and she says 75. Then he takes the 50 to the 75 for the same policy. Only difference is the policy is going to last a way short amount of time. I'm doing investments a lot, so most of my clients are 60s, 70s, so they're not buying a lot.
That's why you buy term. That's the difference. My term policy, I ended it July 17th, going. I still had another couple of years on it, but I let it go. Why did I let it go? Because I don't need life insurance. I'm self-employed.
What the industry insiders are saying about HIBER, Forbes.com, consumers should avoid. In the upper left, POL home,
Okay.
you come down to on-demand.
Okay.
The latest PFNs are here, and I do recommend going back and look at the things from events, announcements, brochures.
By the way, the whole world was talking about Ben Shepard's show. He has this show on Thursdays called something about investments. His name is Ben Shepard. And they're all telling about how good it was, how good his class is.
Under training and development. Under training, down here under the Crusade, the second one.
Yeah.
Get the facts on IUL. And what was it? And here is a PowerPoint presentation that you can show
Okay.
people. Download that. And it's just going to be, what we just saw. What is an IUL? How it works, etc., etc.
That's the big talking points right there, those.
Yeah, those
Yeah. Right there.
those five, one, two, too fast. Yeah, those 5 points right there. So that'll show it right off that.
It's probably come about because of the market. The market's done. Because people are scared to go into the market.
Yeah.
All their money's in savings bonds and stuff.
Yeah. They are trillions of dollars still in the same.
But man, we're back at 35,000. We're almost going to hit 36,000. We're going to get back to where we started.
Yeah. Well, it's an unexpected increase in the market. No one really expected it.
Well,
we're all counting on a recession.
Well, there was something somebody brought up on Fox the other morning. Historically, the year of election and the year about right now, markets always trend up.
Well, I knew the year of an election it does well.
Yeah.
and you thought, you just said,
But here, I'm telling you, I listen to these analysts and these guys every single day.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying in January, we're going to have a recession. It's probably going to be a bad one. It's probably gonna be the first quarter of this year. Right, that's what I was hearing. Whole world said that. And Jeremy Siegel, from Warden School Economics, was the only one that was saying we would not have it. He said if we did have one, it'd be a mild recession. The thing that's keeping it is the unemployment rate is too low. Because typically you have to have a high unemployment rate to have a recession. Higher, and 3.5% again. In January, I thought it'd be around March, April. I was telling people between March and June is what we're going to have a recession, based on everything I was hearing. Still didn't happen. And now, matter of fact, the market started taking off in June, May or June. Yeah. Started going up.
No more June.
No one expected it. And so it's an unloved market increase, is basically what it is. I'm still afraid of it. I can still do it. Yeah. We're riding it. But the floating rate fund pays a 9.85 yield now. So
if you look back at 70 years of history, you never had a 10-year period where you lost money.
Right.
We preach that, and we preach that, and we preach that, and we preach that.
But we have had years. But we have. Yes, you're right. We haven't. But a lot of the point I make with my clients, though, and the point that needs to be, how I tell it to my clients is like, if I was going to fly from Atlanta to LAX, and you take off, and the whole time you're doing this, okay, and you make it to LAX, well, you made it, but you're sick. Okay. So my job is to get you to LAX and smooth out the ride a little bit. And so that's my objective, is to have them not take the big 30%.
Well, the big thing about when we went to that seminar that I got out of that was that 10-day thing. When you miss out on these 10 days, out of 7,500 days, you lost the biggest gains.
Oh, right. That's right.
And that was just...
They always have a client that send you their statements, no matter what. So I had a client to retire 3 years ago. Been a roller. Money come in. He retired, stayed home about 3 or 4 months out. I'm going back to work. Go to work for the same company. Work about a year. And come and say, you know what? I got a little rollover 401k that I need to give you because I'm not working anymore. I said, okay, well, you already have an account open. Here's the account number, the address. Just have them send it to me. With your other money. So she said, okay. And she called me and said, they're going to send a check to my house instead of just rolling over to you this time. I said, okay. So I get the check. You called me yesterday.
That's what I said. You were picking up a check.
Yeah, picking up a check. They ended up picking up 2 checks. One of the check is a Roth, $16.63. And then this other part of the roll about $2,500. So not knowing she had a Roth IRA, because she didn't have it the first time. So she went back to work. She apparently was started. So now I got this check with the Roth. I'm trying to think what we do with $16.53. I would have told her just cap that in.
Yeah, how old is she?
61. So it's paid out to the primary shareholder service for the benefit of her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what can you do with it? And she, I would have told her, I should have told her, just send me your statements again. But no, the first time I wrote it up, she didn't have a Roth. I wouldn't think you'll go back to work and then open up one at $16.
So they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I have one that was like 93 cents. I would tell her, send that check back to whoever issued it. Okay. And have them cash it out. Make sure they don't cash it out. Only the Roth one. Whenever somebody says, I need to set an account, I say, first thing don't do, take a picture of your driver's license, technically. And if they say I want to set up a systematic withdrawal, I say, take a picture of a voided check and text that to me. When a client tells me to make a redemption or a purchase, and POL gives me a confirmation number, I always text them the confirmation, 18 or 18. Only 70. The market did really well, and that account went from $250 to like $350 in 1 year. And they saw it went up like 30%. They were all excited that account made 30% 1 year. And they called me. His wife was retiring from Upstate Hospital. She rolled over all her money with me, which was about $300,000. she had a coworker working with her, rolling all their money over with me. And I just got another call from one of her coworkers rolling their money some close to $1 million, all because they did a $25 PHC, sat there, didn't do anything for years, and they called me all excited that their account made 41% one year. They're all excited about that, and I got nearly $2 million in roll quotes. I actually call the SP, the VADAX. As I always tell them, like this year, but then I ask them to be out there. If they're doing like a PAC or something, or they have a simple and they're putting so much money out of their paycheck every month, and I'll put it in that. And I said, once we get about 10 grand in there, I said, this is the vanilla ice cream reaction. I said, once we get about 10 grand in there, then we'll start putting those stuff. The one that has the QQQM in it, that's the one I'm going to start using.
That's right.
Low costs, and has a good return. I'm trying to get home office on fixed income investments to go to 0.5%. Good. Because why would you do a bond fund in the managed account with a 1% fee? I'm giving away a third or 20% of your return just for the fees.
That's right.
If it's equity fund, you get just 10 or whatever percent. Okay, that's all right. But a bond fund that makes 4, and you're taking 1, that's not right. So I think 0.5% should be the. Senator Warren, who's one of the reasons why you have to have all these has made it illegal to win a trip. So no one in Massachusetts can win any primary trips. Because it motivates the agents to sell stuff that would cause them otherwise not. She thinks it gets them to sell so that they can win a trip. Joe Caponero, who's Caponella, he's a really good producer. He makes about $800,000 a year. But I like about him is he tells the home office doesn't let him speak very often. Okay, because he said that's the truth. And I heard him speaking one time at one of the security trips, and he said, "I don't know what the deal is. We're here, and they act like the amount of production we're doing is great. It's not. Compared to the rest of the industry, there's people that do way more production than we do. Wow, we're getting old. And I have said for the last several years that we're going to have a convention in the near future. And when they call for awards, everybody's going to be riding their scooters up a little ramp to get the award. I love it. Because Frances Abrams, she's walking with a cane. Wow. And so, I mean, everybody's getting older, right? To be successful in this business, all you have to know how to do is set an appointment, close a life and securities transaction, or recruit someone. Those are the only 3 things you got to learn how to do.
She said primarily it's all about history.
Yep.
You will spend your entire career primarily becoming a district or making districts.
Right.
And that's the fundamental unit.
I would encourage you probably get the mortgage license first. Because that generates more security trips. So we have much better rates, and we can do purchase loans, or we can do refis, really. So the product is a lot better.
We have access to arms.
I have a question going back to the IUL. Did y'all say that the agent's not required to be licensed in security?
That's right.
That sounds absolutely outrageous.
Yeah. They make it sound as if the client is investing. If I come across a client that has all index annuities or all index life policies, I'll ask them, is this person, and have their investments, their retirement accounts, and things like that. I'll ask them, or I'll tell them, I said, I don't think this person even has a securities license.
Right. That should immediately raise their red flag.
So why would you want to have your investment money invested with somebody that's not licensed to do investments?
But he's been my agent for 20 years. He's never done me wrong.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. You know what?
That particular money is in variable annuity because it was not qualified. I had
Right.
So it's been with, but I didn't put any riders on it. Okay. So I put in a variable annuity with no rider.
Right.
Because he didn't really need the money.
Right.
got the fees way down, and it has made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's worth millions now.
Yeah.
So when she passed, she's not good. She's in her late, nearly 90.
Yeah.
When she passed away, that family took inherit a lot of money.
Noel Jackson, the meeting that I went that he gave on the ACEIX guy, he was talking about variable annuities, right product, right person, for people who are having difficulty understanding or dealing with the movement of the market. Here again, ACEIX is that. And then you put it into a variable annuity, not only do you make them happy, you make them a lot more money over time.
Yep, and she's done very well, and so, but she's like, she was like 85 when I met her, so she's got to be in her 90s for sure.
Yeah.
And then she said, as soon as I make this check out to Primerica Financial Services, she goes, you're with Primerica? If she left this other guy, and hated him. He said, I can't believe you're with the same company as this other guy. She stalled for a second, and then she decided, I said, it's not the company, it's the agent that you're buying. The point is that their investment choices are getting a lot better, they're going to continue to get better. We have a lot more options. American Funds is going to be in there now, Fidelity there. The investment stuff is much better than it was. So they've improved, they're working hard to make it worth it. Like I said, I have 15 million in managed, a lot of my cohorts have way more than me. But I have more money under management than most of them. But I have less than the accounts. And the only reason I do that is I wasn't super happy with some of the investment choices they had. So now the investment choices are better, I'll start putting more money over there. Yeah, it used to be you could only have up to 2 different portfolios, now you can have multiple different portfolios.
Like a lot of variation.
See, ETFs have about 1/4 the cost of mutual funds.
Yes. And they do not trade at the end of the day.
No, they trade all day long like stocks.
It's,
We're licensed in about every state.
some states don't require CPA.
No, they don't.
A couple three.
And a couple states, you only have to take the exam.
Ohio.
Your 63 counts. 10 grand a month or so, just off the exam. I'll make between 250 and 300,000 if I do that. The first check of every month I get the 12B1 check. It's normally about 10 or 12,000. And the last check of the month is 10 or 12,000.
What the hell?
So I make 20, 25,000 if I do nothing. My goal is to get my managed accounts up to 40 million. I'm at 15 now. I think I can get to 30 pretty quick. 40 million, and then have my total assets pay you over 200. I'll make $50,000 a month. But I know that doesn't thing. No, it's not getting anything else to do. This is just money that comes in whether I do nothing.